Hey you, Meowkaiser coming at you today with a patch notes rundown. Today's patch notes is from 9.3.00. The maintenance is actually happening right as I'm recording this video. We have the April Fool's gotcha coming in, so we will see Rotzi Mai as live 2D as well as Bianca Line as live 2D as well, and Nikki gets another really good skin that isn't live 2D. She still doesn't have a live 2D skin for some reason. Celine is released. She is actually the first character to receive a live 2D skin immediately upon release, and that is her Maniac Collector skin will actually be live 2D. We'll see how this works. We don't actually know how much this costs, how much they're charging for it. We'll see. We'll see. Bianca got a monologue from the tournament shop. Jackie, Sue, and 11 have new voice packs. Let's see. There's its gem purchase event. It's like they changed the daily login event. It's not really a whole lot to say here. They changed... Oh, nice. So, they changed the growth quest rewards so that you would get Accelerate earlier on the game, rather than have to wait much later. So, League restriction use of Accelerate ammo supply and arrow supply has been lifted. So basically, when you start the game right away, you can start playing with Accelerate, ammo supply, and arrow supply. This honestly should have happened a long time ago. A lot of newer players want to play bow, they want to play gun, and they don't have ammo or arrow supply, and it's just very difficult. So, good thing they removed that. In-game item crafting navigation improved. A new item crafting navigation system based on the area has been added. It can be selected in settings in-game. Well, we'll see how this looks. The UI of the crafting menu has been improved. The crafting button has been enlarged, and some UI resources have been replaced. This is actually really nice for people that play mouse only, or if they play on mobile. Having a larger crafting button is a big deal. A glide pass preview added, finally, instead of people accidentally opening it. A list displaying items available in supply boxes have been added. This should have been there forever. The only way that you could know what's in what you could possibly get out of a supply box drop was to check the wiki, and the fact that that was the only way to know was really dumb. Like, the more information that's put in the game, the better. Item purchase button improvement, the purchase revive feature. Okay, thank God that they did this, because I have been getting constant questions from newer players that are like, oh, so when your character dies, you can't play the character for an hour, which is just not true. And they're making it more clear that you can revive the character, which is a big deal. They've addressed the problem that team match just is not a popular mode at all. And so now when you queue up for team match, it's just going to be played on one server. So, yay. You'll actually be able to get team matches in rather than having to just pray. So this will help a lot, especially because the Korean server has a larger player base that actually plays team match, so people will actually be able to get team match games in. Jan's stamina growth went from +5 to +7. This isn't really that much of a buff, but what's interesting is that his hot blooded combo says stacks consumed when Ardent Will is activated is down from 5 to 4. So instead of spending 5 stacks, he spends 4 stacks. We'll see if this matters. It's kind of hard to tell. We'll see. And you got Nikki's liver break duration is from 9 seconds to 12 seconds. This is just a straight buff. It's kind of debatable. They decided to nerf Eshion again. His weapon evolving condition goes from level 7 to level 14. I mean, not level 6 to level 7, level 13 to level 14. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this one. I've never felt like Eshion was that oppressive. I feel like part of the issue is that Eshion particularly likes starting hospital, right? where he can get hero helmet, he can get drop near. You know, like the issue with Eshion isn't Eshion himself. The issue of Eshion is drop near. But I digress. Johann has been buffed. Now, when he uses Sermon, he consumes 5 stamina instead of 10. I think this is insane. I think Johann is going to have insane sustainability. So, I don't know what they were thinking here with this change. I think this is going to... Like, he was already pretty strong, and now he's just going to go over the edge. Like, I'm not going to say that Johann was a top pick, but this is insane. I think part of the issue was that people weren't using Sermon, so they're trying to encourage people to use Sermon more. There's a couple item changes. Harp is now made from jeweled sword plus Shamshir, so you no longer need the scimitar. The scimitar was a Shamshir plus kitchen knife recipe, so now you no longer have to look for the kitchen knife. This makes Harp a much better option for blade users. Hofuo. So, funny thing, I actually got paid to translate, and I reverted Hovud to Hofuo, and the reason why I did this was because, like, even though Hovud is a correct name for the item, it looks really silly to somebody that speaks English. And so I pushed through that they reverts the name change from Hovud to Hofuo. It looks like they pushed that through. We'll see how it is in-game. But it now gives max stamina plus 20, which is neat. It does something. Cupid Bow got nerfed. It's attack plus 48 to now attack plus 46. I find this to be a little bit strange. Cupid Bow is a bow that not a lot of people make, at least in high levels, simply because there's so much competition for gemstones. But we'll see if there's any context to why they're nerfing bow. On the topic of nerfing bow, they changed Ballista's recipe from steel bow plus short spear to steel bow plus javelin. Javelin requires a spear handle, and I think they're called like throwing knives or something like that. You get them from like cemetery and chapel. Basically, it's just adding an extra item to the recipe and forcing bow players to pass somewhere else. I think the reason why they did this was that pathing to forest was so efficient for Ballista. That was insane. And so they wanted you to force you to path to places like Lighthouse and Temple instead, which makes a lot of sense. And you also have to deviate to like cemetery and chapel, but deviating to chapel doesn't even sound that bad. So it's different. I think we'll still see Ballista being played, but I don't think that Ballista will be the quintessential best bow pick. And then Elemental Bow got changed. Instead of Scorch Bow plus Mighty Bow, it is now Scorch Bow plus Purified Water. This makes it really efficient if you go for the double rubber setup. I'm going to be looking into this, especially because the double rubber setup does pick up a gunpowder you can pick up a gunpowder at Lighthouse. I'm going to start thinking that the Elemental Bow setup is actually going to make Lighthouse Darper Bow really strong. This is a prediction. I could be wrong. AKR 98 has its grade changed from rare to uncommon, and Hand Cannon has its grade changed from rare to uncommon. This looks like Barbara nerfs. Why? Why are you nerfing Barbara? I don't understand. I mean, it's entirely possible that Barbara is doing well on the Korean server, but I don't know. I haven't seen that from watching the Korean live streams and the Japanese and Chinese live streams. Barbara doesn't feel oppressive. She's just a very cool character that rewards high level play, but I could totally be wrong. There might have been somewhere where people believed that Barbara was too unfair, but eh. So these two are Barbara nerfs, hands down. Drop near got a nerf. It now has a 120-second cooldown added to it. I don't know how this works. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So I assume the cooldown starts the moment that you make the 5th item, right? But does that mean that when the cooldown starts, I can't start stacking again towards 4? Or, well, like, what does it mean? I mean, this is going to have to be tested. Network, PC, GPS, 1 stack is deducted every 15 seconds. It would have been really nice if they just told us what it was before, but, you know, thanks for clarity, Nimble Neuron. Some map changes. Fire Station no longer has a fire helmet there. There used to be a fire helmet there because, you know, it was... What's it called? It was in flavor because it's the fire station. Of course there's a fire helmet there. But now that fire helmet actually builds into something, the fire helmet there is actually quite powerful. especially just because of how you path around in the game. So makes sense why they removed it. Mighty Bow has been removed. Mighty Bow was making Elemental Bow just way too difficult to craft, so they just removed it entirely. For Team Match, Dr. Wickline, one random legendary grade armor gears dropped upon Dr. Wickline death in Team Match mode. So basically, when you kill Wickline, you're going to be staying even longer to take her drops. Bug fixes. The issue of Eshion's exclusive weapon being given to AI has been fixed. This has been reported so many times in the past few months. The issue when the selected aptitude was not reflected after being changed in the team match settings screen has been fixed. The issue that prevented starting a game when an expired aptitude was being selected has been fixed. Nicknames cannot be changed when queuing for a game. The issue when the weapon's skill icon was not being displayed after changing a weapon with Johan has been fixed. The issue of red dots that appear after Goliath's pass quest improvement has been fixed. The issue of a Goliath's pass not displaying properly after using the claim all rewards feature has been fixed. There's a lot of things that we have to test. We also have to test Celine to see how it works. Yeah, Nimble Neuron's not known exactly for clarity, but looks like Bow got changed a lot. I'm not going to be so quick to say that Bow is gutted. I mean, Bow currently looks weaker, but we need to see how strong Elemental Bow is. If Elemental Bow is as strong as Ballista was, then Bow basically never changed. The only thing about Bow is that now we're all going to build Elemental Bow, but we'll see. I think the direction they were trying to take it in was that, like, there's just more different starting points rather than just every bow starting archery range or factory, which was incredibly unhealthy for Bow. Because if you got a lobby that had multiple Bow players in a single lobby, it was just stupid amounts of competition for a single area. So I like those changes. I find the changes to nerf Barbara to be very strange. But, okay. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.